Hello everyone, I'm going to show off a experiment with dual color tinting mica powders. And what's really bizarre is I cannot get what I see in person to show up on camera. So when I have it close like this, I see purple highlights all throughout here. There's a little bit of blue here, a little bit of blue here, but then like purple. Whereas on the camera, as you'll be able to see, it's all blue. When I drop it down, I get the blue highlights. So this is a smoke gray case that has two different types of mica pigments mixed in. It was a ratio of white, black, and translucent, or my clear resins. I mix them in a specific ratio to try and get a thick opacity to them. So as you can see, light will go through this case, whereas on a more solid, it's much more opaque. It really doesn't like to let the light through. And then I can go even darker than this, because I can continue to add the color-based pigments that I have. I even have dry pigments that I could try adding to probably make it more opaque, but then I'm going to lose viscosity. That's neither here nor there. I just figured I'd show off some of the cool color options I'm going to have for resin cases. Now, if you wanted this in a really big case, like this one here, you'll notice this one doesn't have a color flash till I tilt it this way. And the reason why is this, in this dimension, is too big for my build plate. Till the $3,000 plus machines come down in price that are 15-inch screens or bigger, I am stuck needing to tilt things to match. So this one was printed like this, and you can always find the color flash, or the print angle by the color flash, because the color flash has a working angle of like 10, 15 degrees, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and then it goes back to its opaque color. So this one turned out beautifully too. And the user, or the consumer did not want the color flash to be overly flashy while they worked at the desk. So having it like this, you still have it, it's still there, but it shouldn't be always on, I guess is the best way to put it. Anywho, one other thing is I've got resin keycaps. Well, this is a PBT DSA keycap with UV resin legends on it. So I've got this working really well. I've got to fine tune my white and how I'm selecting what prints in white, and then the order at which I print in white. But I can print on polyacrylic. I have some coloring issues on this, but it printed gorgeously. This is an alignment test. I have a very slight bit of an alignment issue. It needed to go that way ever so slightly. And then on here, on the PBT keycaps, if I sand the surface, I have almost an indestructible bond, but it's still only surface deep. So if I were to take like a razor, I can scratch this off. The resin itself is incredibly hard. It's pretty much the same resin like these are made out of. But funny enough, and I don't have my example here, it has taken an adventure. But on resin keycaps, I think what happens is some further cross bonding. Even though these are fully cured, it's like the UV resin sinks in and cross bonds due to polarity of things or something like that. And then you get literally, you'd have to destroy the cap again. These should not come off. I'm looking into adhesion promoters. I'm going to order one. They're like $50 a bottle, but I want to see if I can make them even more indestructible. But even if I can't, I think this is more than perfect. I can print on sides. I can print on sides. I have it all indexed, so I have a jig system like this. This is for flat. I have them labeled on the bottom. And then Just put it in the machine. The cool thing is it all goes to the same print floor. So along with this, I have like one for DES, row 1, and it'll angle it the correct way. So then I can print this right alongside this and just load up the files. I'm currently using Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to see if there is a file format that is more editable by the average user, so that you can just custom make the file. You can take my template, which has all the key positions, along with the, I have the quarter vectors, so I've got here, 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 here. I've got the upper half, so that like, if you wanted a letter and RGB just to go through the top, and then I've got the whole. So you can do literally all 4 of those faces. I'm going to have to make a separate file, I think, for the half faces, just because they're smaller. I might move that to that upper quarter panel. I'll see how the size comparison, or size is for the window. Because really, on these sides, you don't want to print down here, because they're mostly going to be invisible. But you really want to print up here. And if you look at half that size, if I look at my calipers, I would say this is probably a 5mm window on top, something like that. Yeah, that actually would work pretty well. And then width-wise, I'm using a 10mm window. So, oh man, I am not the best there. So something like that. So you might lose a little on the sides, but you can always push it outside of the text box too. Yeah, actually, that might just work. When I'll redesign this in my print floor, I have a set window so that everything lines up right too. Because when you tilt one of these like this, the window changes, or like this. So because it tilts, or the rotation is based on the origin of the plane. So I move it back, but like for the front face, if I don't move it, or if I move it to correspond to that top 50% of the window, I should be able to print on the sides of these really well. I don't think you'd ever want to do side printing on DES. The way the thing is designed, it's very unlikely. I guess maybe on row 4, or no, yeah, row 5. Right? So like on row 5, it's sort of sitting like this already, depending on your curvature. So you really don't see the legend here as is, but I could put it here on row 5. And that might be the ideal thing. On convex, do I have a convex cap? I don't have a convex cap. My table is littered with keycaps, but not the one I want. But on the convex keycaps, I will position them, or give Windows positioning accordingly that way. I probably will just add a layer into the Illustrator or whatever program I have, which has comments of where everything is. And then when you're done, you just delete the info layer or disable the info layer in the export. And then everything will be, it'll, or actually no, you won't even export Illustrator file, and then you'll just send me the Illustrator file. That's all very in the works. I have no idea what this is going to cost. Material-wise, this is not expensive. Labor-wise, this is not expensive. The only concerns are I have to keep the printer constantly running, and then I have to keep it working. And like if the print head goes, that's a $400 experience. The inks are, you just don't use a whole lot of ink, so they're not that expensive either. I think there's only 3D keycap. 3D keycaps is the only other individual I know of doing this. His prices are probably considerably more expensive than what I'm willing to charge. The only other interesting thing is, and you might be able to see with these. No, not that one. Let's do this one. So you can see where the keycap lip is, and then this. So this had, I think, 6 or 7 print layers on it. I did white on white on white on white, and then I did the white color twice, and I think I should have done just color, or just color once, because it darkened it. But I can do height. So if you wanted to, say, have a Braille keyboard, I'm fairly certain I can do that. You could print it with the legends. Say you wanted a Braille Legend hybrid keyboard. So you print it with the actual letters, and then have the Braille bumps as a different overlay file that I would then print that multiple times while adjusting Z height if necessary. And then you would have the tactile bump of the Braille bump. I'm sure it might not be up to, I think there's a National Institute of Braille or something like that. I don't know if it would qualify for their standards, but as a home remedy solution, it might work very well. Anywho, I have these. I have jigs printing, so I'm printing tons of these. They're going to be color coordinated, so I can swap them in and out easily. Right now, my jig for alignment on my platen, my actual printer plate, is considerably smaller than the actual build plate. And what I want to do is I probably want to convert that to aluminum via CNC. I have a CNC. So if I convert it to aluminum, I can go much bigger. But right now I can only do 47 keycaps at a time. Or no, 49 keycaps at a time. And that's 1U keycaps. They have a 27 millimeter envelope all the way around them. So if you wanted to have 2U, I think I can do 2U. Now, right, this would be 18 times 2, so no. But I can take out rows, and I can, again, do all the alignment concerns and make the actual boxes for everything quite easily with Illustrator now that I've got my origins all figured out. I guess this turned into a bit of a mini update. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm doing things. The tariffs are getting interesting. I've pre-ordered, well, not pre-ordered, I've ordered a whole metric ton of supplies just to be able to smooth out any price transitions. I'm hoping that things get better, because even me trying to keep my prices marked down, I'm not going to be able to shield everyone from 100% tariffs. I know that's only 100% on my manufacturing materials, which is the cost portion of a sale. So like this keyboard has a cost, but I also have a charge value for it. So this does not go up by 145% or whatever it is now, but it does go up by a meaningful percentage either way. So I will do the best I can on that. I guess in the end, people might not be concerned about fancy, colorful keyboards if things continue to get worse. But I will continue to try and do this for as long as I can, at least. You all stay safe out there and sane, or at least as best as you can. Stay out of trouble, and good luck. This is Marshall at Scree Custom Keyboards. Bye-bye.